This may seem unrealistic, but hear me out. Arda Güler is one of the most promising footballers in his age range, and in the second season of the save, he began to get minutes with Fenerbahce. Surely a big move was on, but after interest from Barcelona, Real Madrid, and others were outright refused, Arda was annoyed and asked him to at least listen to the offers. So Fenerbahce did the sensible thing and benched him for an entire year.
Why you gotta do me like that?
With his reputation in the bin, Guler showed interest in joining us for an undisclosed reason. Initially, he must have thought that we had Saudi owners, but eventually, he joined for an initial 9 million fee, although a release clause was put in. It's an insane signing, and he balled out on the Champions League qualifiers, acquiring 2 assists on his debut versus Skendia, and another pair in the reverse fixture. Unfortunately, for him to come in on a record-breaking Greek transfer, players had to be let go. Juan David Mosquera was sold to Cologne for 8.25 million, and Manu Garcia was sold for 8, not just because of Guler, but also due to the free transfer of Stanislav Shopov. A few more names left on freeze, including Odubajo, who went to this Nigerian club, where he's earning a wage greater than the next 9 top earners combined. To replace the outgoing right backs, Igor Silva was brought in on loan, and Englishman Ethan Laird was available on a free. So we said, why not? For depth purposes, Antonio Zola came in to rotate and be a good tutor, while also pissing off PAOK fans at the same time. Retzos filled in to rotate across the back line, Kadu as the backup keeper and model citizen, Jan Mevile to replace Darita's experience, and the beginning of the Wonder Kid farming, but I'll mention that later on. There were media outlets saying we were a 2-season wonder, so the goal for this campaign was to go undefeated. A tough schedule to start off, but we were able to edge up Panathinaikos thanks to Aziz's noggin. He was going to have his best campaign so far, so enjoy it, as it could be his last. Nonetheless, facing Ike on the second match day was an expected challenge, especially with the side rotated. Not much occurred until the big boys were subbed in, and so Retzos concede a penalty and get injured simultaneously? 1-0 for our opponents with not long left, and the hope for an undefeated year ended on match day 2.
You're a fraud!
With that challenge failing, I decided to make one for the Greek Cup. But first, this season's Champions League fixture list was a whole lot simpler than the last, and the results proved it. We actually defeated a side we were supposed to in Slovan Bratislava, competed in a tough away fixture versus Sevilla, where you could argue we should have won, but damn Solak missed a pen. While we couldn't beat an elite team this time around with Bayern edging us 2-1, promise was shown. A lot of that was thanks to our back line, as not only did they keep a clean sheet away at Ajax, but Kovacevic won the match for us. Another 1-0 victory arrived against Ludogorets too. Sadly, not everything went to plan. Basel at home should have been a win on paper. I thought we had the better 11, but weird things happened in the snow. We had to fast forward to the 79th minute, where Rakov took the lead. We have several strikers good in the air, but Basel had one themselves, Bradley Fink. And this man bun wearing son of a gun would equalize this match with his noggin. A victory would have had us in the top 8, but we weren't good enough. That's also what Luis Enrique thought prior to our battle with Inter. The only club we defeated last campaign, they actually made the final and lost on pens. Still, how arrogant can you be? And they scored in the first minute. Yeah, we lost 3-1. Top 8 was too ambitious, but with another 1-0 victory in our last fixture versus Benfica, we finished in 14th. Aris would confront any of these lower rated squads in the playoff round. The winner of that tie would move on to the round of 16, and we'd be against Club Brugge. With the first phase of the league campaign going really well despite the Ike loss, we won't delve into it too much right now. However, players you'd expect to do well did. Obviously Guler, but Liza was scoring a bunch, and so was Solak. Rakov, on the other hand, was grabbing more goals in Europe than in Greece, but still put in respectable performances. The real challenge in Greece was for the domestic cup. I imposed a challenge for myself. Can I win this competition again, but only using those aged 23 or younger? Last season, that would have been impossible, despite our best 11 having a good amount of those. However, we began Wonder Kid farming. Not to the extreme yet, but we bought some promising Greeks, including Mavropoulos from Panathinaikos, Usteris from Astaras Tripolis, and Sergios Kalajitsits from Stuttgart. It says he's German, but he's part Greek. Then there were bargains, like Argentine Merlo, Brazilian David, and Uruguayan Miguel Santin. We even went to Africa, as Odubajo's side had a man named Prosper Bankole. However, they were two better than all of these guys. First, we look at Cyprus. Not the nation you'd imagine when you think of promising footballers. Although Apoel had one named Iasonos Toma. we'll call him Jason. I didn't want to pay his 3.7 million release clause, so we got him to pull a hissy fit, leading to his unhappiness and Apoel allowing installments in the deal. Welcome, Jason.
Hello, my name is Jason and I love my life.
The final transfer was much simpler. I was analyzing African national teams, where I stumbled upon Cameroon's under-21s. Here, I found potentially the next Alvaro Diaz. Valerie Njambe. Oh, this guy's gonna be good. And he costs absolutely nothing. These two arrived in January, so in the 6th round versus our affiliate club Kifisia, we decided to throw in the lads previously named, along with VTech, some Academy Dons, and a striker we bought for 61k in the 2nd year. He improved to be a somewhat competent attacker. This round was simpler than anticipated, with a 3-0 aggregate triumph. By the time we played PALC, Jason and Valerie had joined. Wait, AFCON already? In the quarters, this was where I began to get nervous. David and Merlo were loaned out, but I tried to use as few under-23 starters as possible. It didn't detract from our performance, with Karamitsi scoring the opener. That was cancelled out prior to the break with an unlucky slide tackle. Taking advantage of the home tie was needed, so around the 60th minute, some stronger players came on, and it worked perfectly. Ratkov and Kovacevic both helped us to take a 3-1 advantage heading into the away tie. That was pretty chill for the most part, with Nikos Husteris extending the aggregate in the first half. PALC made things interesting, but the U23s advanced to the semis. In that, Asteras Tripolis were our opponents, and they have a new manager who's not a fan of us. We laughed at his sacking, and he wanted revenge. They conceded this in the 8th minute. Genuinely, it wasn't an exciting encounter, but Manolas was tripped late and tucked home his own pen to win away 2-0. Then, another early goal in the home leg, although they did get one late. Nevertheless, off to the final, using an under-23 team. So we'll try to be victorious against Olympiacos at the end. Club Brugge separated Aris from their first ever round of 16 appearance in the Champions League. It was a kind draw as we scored in the opening 60 seconds. Incredible scenes. Unfortunately, Noah Lang found free space, allowing him to nod in a goal on Bruges' opening attempt. It was frustrating heading into the half, but football is a game of 90 minutes, and we had Ratkov. Bruges were embarrassing themselves with a pitiful performance, and our season's top scorer would grab us a deserved 3-1 win. The result would be matched in the second leg with a Ratkov brace. The round of 16 would have a difficult opponent, but why did it have to be PSG?
Yes, sir.
An interesting team they have now with Mbappe, a 38-year-old Messi, a slow Neymar, but the biggest oddity was Umar Sadiq, who started with Mbappe up top. Weird stuff. And adding to that, their manager was Abelardo. No, not Big Bert's cousin. I had no idea who he was, but he apparently played for Barcelona in the 90s. Last season, we lost to them 3-0, so we were clear underdogs. But there was something odd in the air. Laird on the ball, whip it in. Donnarumma messes it up. Atebo. Oh, we were getting a decent amount of chances, and this early pressure was rewarded. Oh, Gino! 1-0! Over the 3 videos you've seen me use this formation, it may look odd, but it's basically a 4-1-2-1-2, but the right striker plays centrally, the left stays wider, kind of acting as an inside forward that is further up the pitch, then the cam is on the right and also stays wider. These are normally the instructions I put on, but I decided to drop my lines, which means a low defensive block. I normally avoid this, but had a dream to try it against the Parisians. And things were looking good in the second half. Terrible cross, and we go on counter. Liza sent in behind to Ratkov. He's wide open. Ratkov makes it 2! What's going on? Donnarumma fell on the ground, and we kept the pressure up. Gino. It's 2. How are we beating PSG 3-0 at home? PSG would find a chance, but those were rare to see, while we had one more in us. Ratkov, make it 4. If this is onside, tears in my eyes. Oh my... Oh my gosh. We beat PSG 4-0. Never in my wildest dreams did I think this would occur, so confidence was really high. Some told me to be careful, but I thought I would stick with what we got. PSG will likely try to go on the onslaught. We just have to survive any sort of pressure. They scored their first shot of the game. I am not happy about this right now. I already know how this is going to go. It's already 2-0 6 minutes in. We kept losing the ball and PSG continued the barrage, where in the 20th minute, Sadiq would make it 3 on their 4th shot of the game. After the second goal, I tried to push up a little, but reverted back after the third. However, the Parisians were not done yet. Oh good. Why are you clearing it there? A 4-goal comeback in 1 half. I couldn't believe what was happening, so I made a final instruction change to hopefully hold them off for as long as possible. Luckily, it did slow them down, but nearly our entire team was dropping disaster classes. Subs were brought on, and the clock moved quickly, but PSG got a free kick late. Lamar? No. Why is our team being so stupid? Why do we have 2 strikers up here? And I want to mention, none of my free kick tactics had 2 strikers in line with the center spot. We had to find some tremendous risks. So it was all or nothing. Like there's part of me that hopes something happens from this. But I can't. Come on, please. Oh, you even troll me at the end there, FM. I expected that to be it. But I was wrong. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No. Oh my, are you kidding me? How have we not scored there? As the final whistle went, the Parc des Princes erupted, while our guys collapsed on the pitch. It was a remarkable achievement to get to this point. But how this unfolded is going to pain me for a long time. I always wonder how the perspective looks on the other side. But PSG continued on their journey and won it all. They defeated Manchester City on penalties, which I guess they were destined to. This kind of killed the mood in the league, which we did win very easily. It was confirmed on matchday 32 with a 3-0 triumph over Olympiacos, who themselves had a European collapse. They actually made the Conference League semis, where they faced Nice and were 45 minutes away from the final. In a less painful way, they balled it with Ali Musrati scoring a brace. The Prize Club would be our opponent in the Greek Cup final. Once again, the double could be won, but of course, we were using an under-23 side where our goalkeeper got injured and was out for the match. That meant 16-year-old Dimitrios Goulas had to start. Even worse, Kovacevic got injured too. Yet I decided not to start the best under-23s in Aziz, Rakov, and Infantino, which saw us lose 3-0. It was 0-0 for a while, but even when I subbed in the big 3, our keeper dived too low on the first, missed the ball in the second, and saw our nearly 2-meter tall center back lose a header, leading to the third. So, the challenge failed. All I'll say is some men in red allegedly injured these 2 guys. Despite every aspect of that, it was a fine season overall, especially in the league. However, to piss me right off, the Greek team of the year had more Olympiacos players than us.